Welcome to the Compassionate Corner podcast, where we share stories of resilience, cancer, and hope. I'm your host, Roya Soleimani-Winner, and this podcast is a voice for the International Society for Children with Cancer, ISCC. In each episode, you'll hear from surviving caregivers and medical professionals who all have firsthand experiences with cancer. They share their journeys, the lessons learned, and the moments of unexpected hope and joy. Whether you're facing a similar battle, supporting someone who is, or simply seeking to understand and learn from these powerful stories, you found the right place. Thank you for being with us as we explore these extraordinary stories of resilience and hope right here at the Compassionate Corner.
I really wanted to just do it on my own. And for some reason, like giving into a practice or leaning into a journal feels like, oh, I'm not doing this on my own. I'm asking for help. And we all know how that can be. Like asking for help, it's not easy. And, you know, if you're asking for help from whether it's your higher self or your partner or your mom, you're just giving, you're giving hope to them that you are normal and a human, and it's okay to not have it all figured out. For me, I really tried to keep it strong, keep it together, and so, I've changed my mindset, that survival to thrivership. That's my new word. I'm gonna go towards thrivership, and I've graduated survivorship. I'm doing the thing that I needed to do in order to survive, and then once you're out of survival mode, that's, I think, when a lot of people start to question, like, now what? Now how do I actually do that, but in real life? And it's funny how it just gets more complicated as you go through the journey. Cancer itself is full of complications and battles, and it's so highly talked about, which it should be, but then afterwards, there's a whole set of new battles, and you're battling them day in and day out. And like I said, it does take a lot of courage to decide to say, I want to live for the purpose that I did survive.
About my work and about your patients and their families, it shows that you've really found your calling and the passion in working with pediatric cancer patients. Mm-hmm. What keeps bringing you to work every day? What keeps that passion going for you?
I think just knowing that I'm making a difference, and knowing that it's good to know that what you do is meaningful to other humans and other people. And I think at the end of the day, what gives our lives meaning, we all find it in different ways. You do it in your programs that you do by reaching out to other people, human connection, human support, the way we interconnect with other humans in our world, truly give us meaning at the end of the day, I believe. And I feel when I go to work, I know that it's my task to connect with these children, with these parents. As a parent myself, I think it made it more meaningful and gave me perspective. I always say, my life's vision, the way I look at the world around me, the way I see my own purpose in life changed because of the field.
Either they said it's either lymphoma or thymoma. It's either your thyroid or lymphoma. And it's interesting, 22 years ago, I didn't know what lymphoma is. When they said you have cancer, I'm like, I have cancer? Why? I'm just 30 years old. I don't even smoke, and I don't drink, and I'm a dancer. So you might be mistaken. So I went and actually looked at the dictionary. What is like lymphoma? After I got better, in that year itself was full of lesson. After that, I actually got more training, going through different practical philosophy, learning about the whole life. It's not as complicated as we make it to be. It is so simple if you have a good heart. If you do, that's why I started with love. The answer is love. The answer to most of things is yes. Say yes.
Mariam,
and then what's the...
I think around 2009 or so had gone in for an exam, and she was at the time in her late 30s. And we didn't have a history of breast cancer in our family. And I think there was a little something that she found or they had noticed, but because she didn't have a history, they said, oh, you don't have to worry about it. And so she came back a year later and they looked at it and they said, oh my gosh, it's breast cancer. So this poor girl in her late 30s was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she had to get a double mastectomy and go through all that and go through chemo. And it was such a and Mariam was someone who had a lust for life. She was also a producer on a lot of reality shows, and she was just kind of like a little like firecracker. Like, she just had this great energy. And so it was hard for her to go through all of this stuff. And she had put her faith in Western medicine, and in a way it had failed her. So she started going on this journey to see if there was alternative routes to help. And so she traveled to India, she traveled to South America, she met with spiritualists, she changed her diet. And there were times in her, from the time she was diagnosed in around 2010 to the time we lost her in 2017, so those 7 years she was on this journey. So she and Kenny made a movie out of it, and that's what the movie Everything Must Change is. People rely on modern medicine, and they think that, oh, when you go into a doctor's office that they're really being thorough with everything. Yeah. But that's when I said you need to advocate for your own health. In retrospect, if Mariam had gone to another doctor that might have been a little more aggressive with trying to catch it early on, maybe the year before, they might have said, oh, you have a little mass? Well, let's go ahead and, take a look and see what it is and do a biopsy or whatever they got to do. And so, unfortunately, that did not happen. And we do need to be reminded of living our lives and having a lust for life.
Who is battling cancer actively right now? What are the best ways that we can show up for that person, to show that we love them, to be there for them, when sometimes people don't know what to say?
Absolutely. The number one way is just, understanding what they need from you and how you can help. Asking like, hey, do you want me to come over and help you with laundry? Do you want me to cook you a yummy meal? Do you need help getting to doctor's appointments? Do you need me to kind of take the kids to school, figure out like ancillary things that I can help you with? Just being a source of support for that person, I think more than anything is really helpful, because and I'm sure everyone knows this, when you are struggling, it's difficult to express your needs. It's difficult to be like, hey, I need you, right? Because a lot of people are like, nah, like, it's okay, like, I won't say anything, like, they have their own life. But as the support for someone who is struggling with cancer, like, you can be there for them in so many ways without them even asking. So I think it's more just being like, what would I want and how can I give that to that person?
Thank you all so much for joining us. The Compassionate Corner podcast is produced by the International Society for Children with Cancer. I'm your host, Roya Soleimani Winner. And a special thanks to the incredible ISCC team, our producer, Susan Shahidi, and technical director, Sogol Nikumero, and our amazing editor, Sharsad Somet. Music is by artist Sina Sarlok. And now at the close, we want to emphasize that the opinions expressed by the host, that's me, and guests on this podcast are not medical advice. While we strive to provide valuable insights and information, it is important to understand that the views shared here are personal opinions and experiences. We highly recommend consulting with healthcare professionals or qualified experts for personalized advice. Thanks again for spending time with us in the Compassionate Corner. We look forward to seeing you real soon.